He knew how to hide his gadlut like nobody else. It's amazing how the people who chased him were driving around in $100,000 cars, and he laughed while he drove by on a bicycle.
Yeah.
And he looked at us and he said, look, I'm still holding in the world that I came from. I didn't change an iota. I'm proud from where I came. I'm proud from the people that I represent. And because of that, the people loved him. They loved him, and it mattered not how religious, how not. To him, everybody was his love. He came to every single family. He stood in every house. He brought unbelievable blessing to people without them knowing. He blessed us. In the street, he would stop and come up to you and put his hand on you. He had a heavy hand. He brought your head down to remind you, put your head down, be machnia, sho borei olam, and you'll see the blessings. He gave us beracha. He came to our homes. There was never a time that there was a simcha, a pidyon haben, a brit milah, that they asked him to come. He came like family, and he stood on the side. He didn't want anything. He didn't ask for berachot. He didn't ask for any kavod. Lehefech, he ran away from the kavod to show us that the greatness of the Rabbanim of the last generation was in the way they made themselves so small. Their greatness was in them making themselves small. They didn't show anything. They only showed love to his people. And Rabotai, I want to tell you, we have no idea what we lost. We don't know what we lost. We lost somebody that on the outside made him look himself pashut, but on the inside he was holding in shamayim. I cannot tell you stories of myself, and how many people came to Chacham Eli with troubles, with problems, and he gave them such unbelievable advice and berachot that the only way he was able to come up with such berachot and such advice is only if he was holding on such high levels. Rabotai, he laughed at the materialism of America. He laughed at it. He was a testimony. He was a testimony not to get swept away in the materialism of what surrounds us, but go back to who you really are, to your roots, to the old country, to Pashtut, when things were pure, when things were simple, when Torah was Torah, Rabbanim were tzaddikim, and they ran away from honor and kavod. His berachot still stay with us. He was a protection on our entire community. He protected us in ways we didn't know. He brought tikkunim to so many people without them even realizing it. They came to the house. He smiled, sat by your table as if he was joking around with the family members. Meanwhile, his lips were always moving. He was saying constantly, Tehillim, constantly saying Zohar, constantly saying unbelievable things, bringing tikkunim to people without them even knowing what he was doing, all in Pashtut. And because of that, this is the opportunity right now, not only to thank him, but to ask him for the mehillah that we did not properly respect the gadlut of who he really was. And you only find out who a person this great is only when you lose him. It's only now the stories are going to come out. It's only now that we're going to find out who the real Chacham Eli was, and how he was the bridge and the legacy, the Chacham Nisim Dibbo, and that incredible world that we lost out. He was the last bridge to the roots of what made us who we are. And we lost that bridge. Hashem should help us that he now goes up and becomes part of the army in Shamayim to be able to continue to serve the community from above, and specifically to serve our people, because Yitomim Ha'inu ve'en av. We lost a father, Rabotai. I don't think you realize what we lost. We should be zocheh that he should now be able to do in Shamayim what he did for the community down here, to continue to be Melis Yosher, continue to have Tikkunim and Shmirah, and be zocheh finally to Geula Krova.
Amen. Amen.